Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I am Sowakuto, and today I'll be sharing with you guys some personal tips, for my vocalists and for my singers, singers like myself. These tips are, something that I picked up as a singer, as someone who never had like a professional or like a mentor in music to, you know, show me the way and teach me stuff. These are stuff that I learned on my own, things that I picked up from, just being in the industry, singing and stuff. So today I'll be sharing with you guys 6 tips, all right? Six. And I cannot guarantee you guys that that's like all the tips you need in the world, but like this is like something that has worked for me, and I hope you guys, when you hear these tips, it will help you guys when it comes to your singing, shaping yourself as an artist and as a vocalist, okay? So, right off the top of my head, the first thing that I would say as a vocalist that will help you improve your singing, will help you improve your artistry will be to listen. And when I say listen, I'm talking about music, and not just music. You need to be, all ears when you are in a place. You need to listen to what's around you, your surroundings. You need to open up your ears and listen. If a bird chirps, you need to know what that sounds like. If someone coughs, you need to know what that sounds like, because it helps shapes you. It helps shapes your sound. It helps shapes your listening abilities, because listening is a very important part of singing. If you can't listen, then you really let's say you can't stay in key, you can't listen to tones and techniques, and all these things are very very important when it comes to singing. So for me, the first tip off the top of my head would be to listen. So let's say if you are listening to a song, let's say any song, afrobeat, R&B, gospel. If you are listening, you listen to the instruments, not just the vocals, because maybe as a vocalist you'll be concentrating on the vocals in the song, but you need to listen to every single instrument. Try to point out every single thing you hear, because it shapes you, it sharpens your ability as an as a vocalist, as an artist, right? So you need to be attentive and listen. And like I said, not just the music, but the little sounds in your surroundings, in your area, in your environment. You need to soak it all in. All right. Okay, so for the second one, and pretty basic, which will be to broaden your horizon as an artist. And when I say this, what am I talking about? As a singer, as a vocalist, as a musician, you're not supposed to listen to only the kind of music you like. And this was a very tough thing for me to learn, because like I used to just listen to the kind of music that I like. But once I started singing like professionally, going to the studio, watching people play live band and practicing myself, I learned that I cannot just listen to the music that I like, because there's a lot out there that I need to learn, and it's not in the music that I like. So I had to broaden my horizon. I had to step out of my comfort zone and open my ears, open my heart out to other forms of music. And in the beginning, it's very difficult, and sometimes it's so hard, because it's hard to get yourself into that kind of music. But like once you listen, once you take time and then you just sit down, when you listen to some of these songs, you realize that wow, I was messing out, right? Like some of these songs have become like my favorite, favorites. And once you listen to these songs, you start to appreciate it for their techniques. You start to appreciate it for what it's worth, because you realize that okay, maybe in the beginning I didn't like the song because of so and so and that, but it's more than that. It's like a whole art on its own. So you need to broaden your horizon. You need to get out of your comfort zone. You need to, if maybe you're a gospel artist, and this is something that I'm not trying to, be shady to my gospel artists, but this is something that most gospel artists that I know do. And like as a gospel artist, let's say they do not listen to other forms of music because they feel like maybe it's a sin. I don't know why. But like as a singer, even as a gospel artist, you need to open up and listen to other forms of songs like, let's say, reggae, like R&B, pop, rock. You need to listen to all these other songs, electronics, all these other genres, because it's a learning experience for you. Because let's say you are stuck in a place, right? And as a singer, you make up melodies, rhymes, and parts and stuff like that. These songs guide you, they shape you in a way that, let's say, someone who is just listening to one type of way kind of music will never have, because it's like you've got everything. You're learning every which way. So yeah, for the second one, that would be it. For the third one, and I guess this is as likened to the first and the second one, and the third one will be to learn. Maybe it's like a no-brainer for people, but like one thing that I have realized, and even I am guilty of doing as a singer, a musician, a vocalist, whether you're a songwriter, whatever you are, we do not like learning. And I guess that's because in the beginning, you don't know much, but the enthusiasm to learn sometimes is not there. And sometimes we think like we've gotten to a point where we do not need to learn because we think that we are that good. And that is such a harmful thought to us, because we get stuck in one place. We are not multi-dimensional. Like, we are not versatile because we think that we are good and we are stuck in one place, right? So like you need to get that thought out of your mind. You need to learn every day. You need to learn. It doesn't matter how old you are. It doesn't matter where you are. I mean, the greatest of the greatest always learned, even from people that we would have thought or deemed below them. They learned and took inspiration from them. So as a musician, sometimes you need to put your ego and your pride aside, and you need to get into your books. You need to get into your pens, and you need to sit down and take notes. Learn from people, learn from other musicians, learn from movies, learn from footballers, learn from a lot of people, because that's the beauty of music. As a musician or as a vocalist, you do not just learn from listening to music. Music is in everything. So you can hear a plate clash and you can hear music. So you need to learn a lot of things, right? Okay. So for the fourth one, another no-brainer. Fourth one, another no-brainer. And this one will be to practice. Me. Hmm. I think I like practicing. Like when I'm not home, like I enjoy practicing. But when I'm home, like right now, I don't get the time to practice because immediately I open my mouth, then my parents start screaming at me like, "You're making so much noise. Why are you doing this to us? We don't like noise. We like peace." So like it makes practicing for me hard, because most times these days I'm just at home, I'm just chilling, doing chores and stuff, and it makes practicing for me kind of hard, because like immediately I open my mouth, I'm dead, right? So I try to, get other avenues, let's say practice on let's say my songwriting, let's say the vocalizing. I'm back. I'm like a few steps back because, like I said, I'm making noise. Cause but like if you're like, you have a free, terrain somewhere, honey, practice, practice, practice. Like I said, sometimes, we feel like, let's say we get there and like, oh, I'm where I am right now. No, I don't need like to learn. I don't need to practice. I'm all good. I mean, like, let's say, the greats like Michael Jackson, even the Sarkodie's and the Stone Boys and stuff, they practice even when they are not going on stage to perform or anything. They practice because that is part of the job description. You have to practice, you have to tune your craft. It's part of the job description, okay? So, honeys, get to practicing. All right. If you're like me, who maybe you cannot like stay home and vocalize and stuff like that, maybe you need to go out, right? And practice and do that. Or you need to hone in on other stuff, other parts of your music, okay? So for the fifth one is something that I guess I learned not the hard way, actually the easy way, because in some way, shape, or form, I've always been like this. It's always been at the back of my mind. I don't know how and why this thing got into me, but I thank God that I have always, had that thought and perception at the back of my mind, because it has helped me a lot. And a lot of, singers and vocalists like myself, like let's say beginners like me too, we don't, some of them, do not have these things at the back of their mind. They did not know, and it kind of harms us, and it deteriorates our growth. Okay, so for the fifth one, what am I talking about? It will be unhealthy competition, on unhealthy comparisons to other people, right? As a vocalist, sometimes, like I said, you listen to other musicians, you listen to other singers, and you're like comparing yourself to them. You're comparing their style, their tone, their technique, their range, and everything to yourself. And sometimes you feel like shit, like, oh my god, this person is hitting such and so notes. This person has this and this sound. This person's, has this and this kind of vibe, and you are trying to force yourself to be the same way because maybe in the time or during that period that is what's popping, that's what people like, right? So like you're trying to force yourself to like be like that. Or if you feel like, let's say you like for example, what is current right now, before tems came into the game, there weren't a lot of bass, let's say female artists with that base that she has. And I guess a lot of them were, being told that it wasn't possible for them to succeed as artists, which I think is totally bonkers. It's crazy. It doesn't matter your range as an artist. But since this, became more popular, people are, pushing for that sound, because what is what's popping, is what's trending right now. So people are pushing for that sound more. And if let's say you're a musician and let's say your voice can't go that low, or like you do not have that bass, you are sitting home and you are trying to force it, and you are trying to compare yourself to them, it gets to a point you're thinking, okay, my voice is not good enough, my voice is not what it should be, right? And then you start trying to imitate others, and then you use that unique thing that you had, that made you, that made you special as an artist, and then you are following what everybody else is doing, which is really, really, really harmful, right? It's not good for anybody. Like it's something that it's really, disheartening, and it happens in all forms and all walks of life. Like that kind of competition is there. Like let's say when you are young and your parents are comparing you to your friends in the job place, and they are comparing you to the top of the top, and let's say you're in school and your friends are comparing you to your other friends. It happens. You have to get yourself out of that mindset. You have to get yourself out of that place. You need to realize that you as an artist, you as a vocalist, you are unique. Your voice is unique. It doesn't matter the range, it doesn't matter the tone, it doesn't matter the technique. You are unique, and that is a fact. You don't need to force to be like somebody. You don't need to come down for anybody. You don't need to tone yourself down to follow a trend. You are you, right? And don't let's say what is popping right now change you from who you are. Because guess what? If you decide to, follow every trend, follow whatever is popping at the moment, you will not have a face. You will not have a unique brand. You become faceless, right? And we do not want that for each other as artists. So, honey, get that shit out of your mind. Do not, do not be thinking about that. I know sometimes it's kind of hard, especially when you have people around you in your ears telling you so and so and so. But you need to realize that it's not good for you or for your mental health or for your music career, even for your vocals. Because sometimes you're trying to sound like somebody and you are forcing your vocals and you end up damaging your vocals to sound like something that is not, which is really, really harmful for your vocals as an artist, as a singer, right? Right. Okay. So for the set one, which is the final one, because I don't want to talk too much. The final one would be you need to be able to tap into your emotions. Being a good vocalist is not all about the notes that you can hit. It's not all about how stylish your tone is. It's not all about how do I put this? It's not all about how good or great of a vocalist you like your voice is. And depending on that statement, great vocalist, you will get that based on how you drive your emotions through you into the song, right? Because as a vocalist, you can hit every note, like we've done it sometimes. We've been there, we've been the people doing that, and we've also been the people watching the people do that. Like you listen to a song and let's say someone is, let's say, singing, right? This person is hitting all the notes, but you can't feel anything. It's like this person is okay showing off his or her voice, but like you cannot feel anything. The emotion is not there, the connection is not there, which really, really does more harm than good. Because as a singer, as a smart person once told me, as a musician or as a singer, the music that you are singing, that is your act. Let's say as in like a drama or as in like a movie, that is the part that you are playing. So if you're not able to convey that emotion, it doesn't matter what you do, it doesn't matter how perfect all the notes are, it's still a 0 out of 0, right? And sometimes it takes experience and more learning, because it's difficult to tap into your emotions. Take it from somebody who knows. Sometimes it's so hard to tap into your emotions because sometimes you're just not there. Sometimes you just don't know how to do it because you're not that experienced, you're not that motivated. But the emotions, like, they are what matters the most in a song. Take away the arrangement, take away the melodies and the vocals and stuff. If the emotions is not popping, right? If people cannot feel the emotion in your voice and in your singing, it's it's like you've done a cost 90 work. Like take a song like Rise Up like this. Let's say if I go on stage and I'm just, you're broken down and tired from living life on the merry-go-round, and you can find the fighter, but I see it in you, so we gon' work it out. See, it has no emotions, right? It's just me hitting the notes and going my way. Like I can do it, so I'm doing it. But let's say if you go on stage and like, you're broken down and tired from living life on the merry-go-round, and you can find the fighter, but I see it in you, so we gon' work it out. And ooh, mountains, we gon' work it out. And ooh, mountains, I'll rise up, I'll rise unafraid, I'll rise up, I'll rise to the pain, I'll rise up, and I'll do it 1,000 times again. For you, for you, for you, for you. Okay, so let's say if you go to stage and like you see the comparison where I'm getting to. That is the difference sometimes. Sometimes it's not about how good your vocals are. Sometimes it's about conveying that emotions from yourself, from within you to your audience. They need to feel that emotion, they need to feel that power, whether you're hurt, whether you're motivated, whether you're heartbroken. They need to be able to feel that too, and that is what, as an artist, connects you to your audience, right? Okay, guys. That was a loadful, and the fact that I didn't even prep for that, it just popped into my head. So, guys, I'm sorry if I messed it up, but these are my tips, okay? My tips. If you liked this video, like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to share, guys. I love y'all. Bye.